Well, staying on the pro football train, there's a new man in charge at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. After David Baker announced his retirement several days ago, Jim Porter moves up to run the Canton landmark. In an exclusive interview, Will Hewitt talks with Porter and the president of the Hall of Fame Village to see what's next.
3 years ago, I was asked to be on the board. A Canton kid who loves the Hall of Fame, teared up at that point. So you can imagine the emotions that we're going through when I was asked to take over.
It was a call Jim Porter had dreamt about his entire life. A Stark County native born and raised in the newspaper for 33 years, but a passion for football for even longer.
It started with the hall and the events around the hall, and then you just kind of, once you're around it, it's a little bit contagious.
Jim grew up about 6 miles away from here, remembers being a young kid sitting on the old wall with his feet dangling over the side, watching the festivities as they happened, but never in his wildest dreams did he imagine that one day he'd be in charge of it all.
I was a pretty creative kid, but I'm not so sure I could get my mind all the way up to being the person who would help the Hall of Fame move forward.
Jim takes over at a period of transition. Although separate entities, the Hall works hand in hand with the Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company, which is in the middle of a massive expansion.
We're creating a destination predominantly around the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
They just finished the Constellation Center of Excellence, broke ground on the retail promenade, and plan to finish the sports complex by the end of the year, with eyes already on the future.
Phase 2 will be complete in '23. We already have Phase 3 on the drawing board.
What could that entail?
If you're tracking what's going on with sports betting in Ohio, we're tracking it too.
As for Jim, he says he won't be the one filling David Baker's gloves when it comes to knocking on doors.
Not being in the limelight, that's kind of how I like it.
But he hopes to fill his shoes as a group, planning to sit down with all 70-plus employees of the Hall of Fame for feedback and ideas, and says while the future is very important, the main focus of this hall is still the past.
Honor the heroes of the game and preserve its history. That's what we do inside the hall. So if I keep those two things in mind and every decision that we make is based on those two things, we're going to be all right.
In Canton, Will Hewitt, 3 News.